Rudy, Tooty, fresh and fruity. What is going on? I'm zmoT. That is zmoT in that creator boost. We are going to be talking about Captain Ruddero, Captain Rudy, Captain Ruddero, however you want to pronounce it. We'll be talking about it on the main base, but also over here in Warships. Going to show you some details that I feel like a lot of people have overlooked. I wanted to give a big shout out to Donko, the most recent victim of this base. That 110% building damage, making those rocket launchers hit like a sledgehammer. Sniper towers doing all sorts of goodness. And I wanted to show you something about Donko's hit that a lot of players are doing. It is the best way, or one of the best ways, to use Rudy, and I'm kind of somewhat disappointed that no one has made the jump. I will explain that in a second. So we are going to get Rudy here. He is doing all the right things. That angle is basically perfect. Then he throws that smoke to keep Rudy alive, and that's the part that I am somewhat disappointed in the community. We have the Houdini hack by Everspark, where Everspark pops out of the smoke, or comes out of the smoke, does the hack, then goes back into the smoke like a magician. Well, how about the Rudini? That is the Rudy popping out of that smoke, doing all that damage. It's a little bit cringy, but come on. Anyways, I'm going to talk about the damage that Rudy does, and the fact that I don't have him maxed, and that I think that is for a very good reason. I'll show you the stats on that bombing run. If you click in here, then click over here, you can see those stats. Notice that it does 4.9 seconds of bombing run. Now, if you max it, it goes up to 5.1 seconds, which is pretty important because, as you can see there, the bomb drop interval is every 1 second. So, in theory, if Boom Beach timing is right, you go from getting 4 bombs to getting 5 bombs. But that is not the important part you need to know about. We are going to do some drawings here. So if you watch Rudy and his bombing run, if he targets that building right there, he's going to do damage in front and then go past somewhere into that neighborhood about there with tick 4. If you max his bombing run, he runs farther. He uses those extra little bits of seconds to go farther, so his damage pattern is different. So I've seen a bunch of people where they drop him, for example, if we put this over into here and we look at this drawing, if they take Rudy and target that engine room right there, he runs all the way back to here. Now that might be a bit of an exaggeration, but most of his damage is in this neighborhood. That is why people are putting engine rooms at the edge so that he runs past. So I've been keeping my Rudy tick 4. That will not be the case if we get him on the main island. So ideally, if you're trying to use Rudy in a perfect scenario, you want, I believe, do quote me on this, 2 buildings in front. That way Rudy's going to do most of his damage and his turnaround maneuver in this neighborhood right about there. Might be slightly different if there is a tick 5 Rudy versus a tick 40. If you want to optimize your Rudy, do consider paying a little bit more attention to that. Maybe you want 7 tiles instead of 6 if you have tick 5 Rudy. More testing does need to be done on that, but I wanted to get you guys thinking about that before you upgraded your Rudy and before Rudy came to the main base. Yes, his intent is to come to the main base. Wanted to touch on a couple more quick things. Because he's intended to come to the main base, I am almost certain that his Seekers here actually get upgraded with his ability. Some of you are asking, like Kavan, Kavan's second win brings back the level of rifleman you have. Rudy's ability here does not depend on that Seeker node. I am almost certain, because of the fact that he's intended to come to the main base where you won't have a Seeker level. So that's the difference there. Also, quick note that Brick, if we find her, if we look at Brick and her cluster grenade, that cluster grenade ability right there, it is very, very much affected by troop damage. And in the same vein, if we look at Captain Rudy over here, his bombing run, although this image doesn't show it, his bombing run is affected by troop damage. You'll find that with that 110% troop damage, doing way, way, way more damage, probably 110% more, I would guess, but again, I think this image is a bit of a bug. The fact that it doesn't show troop damage applying, it definitely should, because testing has shown that troop damage very, very much does apply to Rudy, just like it applies to Brick and Bullet as well. Probably, I don't think maybe his shock knuckles do a bit of damage. I don't know, but Rudy on the main base. He is coming to the main base. We don't know when. I kind of assume he'll be in one more Warship season before they bring him to the main base, because they gotta balance him a little bit. Definitely think he should drop a few more Seekers so that they do run towards that headquarters / engine room. Also, quick note that when he does come, if you have a look at this beautiful, beautiful path of glory, we scrolling backwards, we get Bullet at HQ 19. Good, that timing is decent. And then 4 engine rooms before, 4 headquarters level before that, we get Everspark. Seems like a reasonable distance. You go about 4 headquarters levels. I'm not sure how many XP levels that is. And then starting from 15 and scrolling backwards, you'll notice this giant lull where you don't get any sort of hero, all the way back to headquarters level 7. So an 8 headquarters level, if you were to cut that in half, headquarters level 11. That, to me, is the perfect spot for Captain Ruddero. Now, just to unlock him, definitely, that'll keep your troops alive. He will fly high above the boom cannons that Kavan loves to step on. And you will be able to use him with tanks that you unlock at headquarters level 11. Whether or not you'd use him or Kavan, that's tough to say, but the fact is, if you watch any of my replays here, I do not have enough troop damage here. I am going against bases that are crushing me and using Ruddero's wingman ability, which, of course, if you look here on his hero, which is the first one you unlock, which you would get at headquarters level 11, it does very, very good things to keep your troops alive. So if we watch here, it doesn't matter that I'm using rocket choppas. If there were tanks in behind, Rudy would be in front of them anyways. Notice that he gets in front. Those wingmen keep him alive. My rocket choppas take out that cannon. No big deal. Also, Rudy getting out front yet again. No, we would not be able to throw critters out there, but you also wouldn't be flaring a shock blaster at headquarters level 11. So wingman ability, standing out front, keeping troops alive on the main base in front of tanks would be fantastic. So headquarters level 11, headquarters level 11, headquarters level 11. That would make it so that you get that hero at very, very predictable times. It would further increase the idea that you want to push your headquarters level, rush your headquarters level, and just look how good these wingmen are at keeping your troops alive. So if you're playing Warships this season, or any other season that Ruddero or Ruddero, probably Ruddero I think is probably the proper way to say that, because a rudder and a boat and a plane or whatever, notice how good those wingmen are at keeping troops alive. Don't need instant training, don't need heavy choppas. Heavy choppas would be so good right now, but I am in the process of saving for 6 engine rooms, hoping to get some of those offensive nodes that are in behind there, and then we're just going slow. And look how you can reposition and those wingmen just stay out there. I definitely sped things up a little bit here towards the end. I knew that by the way, I don't remember if I did a shout out for Donko. Super great player, usually in the global top 500. Also gives very, very good feedback in my comments, and I believe he was in Triangle 9 at one point. My memory, that might be just a fabricated memory on my part, but huge shout out to him there. So wingmen, headquarters level 11. I think it is a perfect fit. I don't know when they would allow unlocking bombing run. Not necessarily. That's the beauty of those 4 headquarters level. Maybe you need headquarters level 12 to unlock bombing run, headquarters level 13 or 14 to unlock the seeker ability. Lots and lots of potential there, as I continue to have to cut spam calls out of my videos. Anyways, do let me know what you think about Ruddero. I know it hurts me to say Ruddero, but it feels like that's the right way to say it. I shall talk to you soon. Hopefully he's on the main base soon, and if you are watching this video because he just came to the main base, please do leave me a comment as well. I am zmoT. Consider throwing code zmoT in that shop, liking, sharing, subscribing. But as always, comments are the lifeblood of this channel. I'll talk to you soon. Thanks for coming in. Peace. Bye.